New details why Miyetti Allah is untouchable comes to light as Sunday Igboho's close aide reveals secret activists told him. Sunday Igboho's aide reveals secret activists told him. Saheed Yusuf, a top aide to Sunday Adeni Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, says the self-styled activist foresaw his current tribulation. Yusuf made this known in a recent interview with BBC News Yoruba. He calls it a secret. Chief Sunday Igboho that you are seeing is a special human being, Yusuf said, speaking in Yoruba language. In fact, I'd refer to him as a man who saw tomorrow because he had predicted what is currently happening. We were about 4 that day. He calls me Baba Pupa. Sunday Igboho said, let's even assume something happens to me. What will make me happy is if you guys continue this agitation, no going back. And because we are not going to betray him, he will stand with what he believes in. Anyone who betrays Sunday Igboho among us, his people, risks destruction. Recall, Igboho and his wife Rokpo had been arrested on July 19, 2021 by the International Criminal Police Organization at the Kajeon Airport in Cotonou, Republic of Benin. On their way to Germany, Rokpo was later released. This was after the DSS raided his house in Ibadan, Oyo State, and declared him wanted for stockpiling arms. When he was rearraigned last Monday, fresh charges were leveled by Beninese authorities against the 48-year-old, who was also returned to a new detention facility. And the source is Politics Nigeria. So, real reason why Miyetti Allah is untouchable. The group had been accused of being responsible for the killings and slaughtering of innocent people in North Central, Southeast, Southwest, and South regions. In the last 6 years, different interest groups in Nigeria have asked the Muhammadu Buhari-led government to label the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria a terrorist group over its alleged involvement in banditry activities. The group had been accused of being responsible for the killings and slaughtering of innocent people in North Central, Southeast, Southwest, and South regions. Formerly in the early 1970s as headquartered in Kaduna State, MACBAN was an advocacy group for Fulani herders. For many decades, the activities of the organization involved liaising with the government on behalf of pastoralist land use rights, nomadic education, and conflict resolution between pastoralists and farmers. It also supported protecting and increasing grazing reserves for cattle breeders in the country. However, not all pastoralists intended to stay within grazing reserves, and the organization provided information to convince grazing reserve skeptics among the nomads to buy into the idea. As the major promoter of welfare of Fulani pastoralists, increase in clashes between herders and farming communities, mostly from other ethnic groups, since the Buhari-led government brought MACBAN into a wider consciousness. With death tolls on the rise, many people pointed accusatory fingers at the group. However, some notable Nigerians of Fulani extraction and others who are patrons and board of trustees, members of the association, have made it untouchable. Serving as grand patrons of the association are President Buhari and his predecessor, Goodluck Jonathan. According to Wikipedia, the MACBAN's board of trustees is always led by the Sultan of Sokoto. The group's board of trustees is led by the Sultan of Sokoto, and it receives funding from the board and their other donors. The national chairman is elected every 4 years. When MACBAN was founded, it received support from Sultan Abubakar III, Aminu, Emir Zazau, Usman Nagogo, the Emir of Katsina, and Ado Bayero, late Emir of Kano. The emirs of these emirates compose a part of the group's board of trustees. Information about the group reads: Muhammadu Sanusi, deposed Emir of Kano, had in 2018 said he was a patron of the association. As I understand it, when Miyetti Allah was first set up, they requested a few Fulani emirs to be their patrons in their capacity as emirs. The first grand patron was Sultan Abubakar III, and he was replaced by successive sultans Dasuki, Maschido, and Sad Abubakar. Now, he told Punch. Other patrons were Emir of Kano, Lamido of Adamawa, and emirs of Zazao and Katsina, I believe. So my predecessor was a patron, and on my ascension to the throne, I became a patron. This is all nominal. Source: Politics Nigeria. Cool. So going back to the first half of the news where Igboho'S Aide basically tells us a secret. Well, it's not a secret anymore. And I guess it just shows not saying. It just shows that, okay, fine, this man understands, Igboho understands the severity of what is going on here. And I think this just goes to show that the people who think he's immature, or the people that think that he doesn't know what he's doing, he knows what he's doing. Again, you cannot be, I don't know what to say, but the fact is he must have had a plan. He must have understood that, potentially this could happen, that could happen, but you can never really predict. So my assumption is he has plans. He has plans. Okay, fine. If this happens, this will happen. If this happens, this will happen. And I guess that's why he has access to a German passport and all that. So he says he was not. The secret is that he said he was not surprised about what he's going through right now, about the tribulations he's going through. Which, yes, of course they are. And also he says that if anything happens to him, what he'd want is that the agitation continues. And obviously, that is absolutely fine, but I just think that, again, this is not my opinion. I don't know the likelihood of that, except someone is really strong and goes for it. Of course, it's not easy. You don't just, start saying you want to go against the government. Like, you don't do that. I feel like if an agitation was to continue, it would be more of the Biafran one. Why? Because I think that, although they started since the beginning of this country's existence, Nnamdi Kanu has been such a force in this movement for Biafra. Like, I don't think from 1960 till now, I don't think there's been any other person who, obviously, Ojukwu and all that, we have the people who led the war. But after that continued the agitation, I think he's the one with the most, with formidable force and just excellence in terms of just being very vocal, in terms of bringing people together, in terms of the respect that he's been able to gain. Because really and truly, he does not, IPOB is not government owned. They don't have that kind of thing where people can choose not to support it and nothing will happen. You know what I mean? But people choose to, even when they understand that the country is the way that it is. Of course, you may disagree with, his ways, his methods, but you cannot deny the fact that he has been very much effective. And if there's anyone who's likely, or if any agitation is likely to continue, it is probably the Biafran agitation. That's just my opinion, but obviously you can have different ones. And with Miyetti Allah, again, of course they become untouchable. Of course, within your organization, of course, the leaders change, vision changes, mission changes, time changes, the consumers change, the people change, change. That's it. So you can't really say that, okay, fine. Of course, it was intended to be this, and now it's not that. People change. And of course, in this government, their importance and their relevance has been heightened because our president is pro-Fulani, which isn't bad, but you cannot be anti everything else because you are pro one thing. Put what you think about this in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.